the night reality melted. It started on a freezing night in Aberdeen, the kind of night that doesn't feel real, the kind that changes you forever. I was gone. Not just drunk, blackout drunk. The kind of drunk where you wake up and your mind feels like a crime scene. When I came to, I had a huge knife stuffed down my joggers, 10 tabs of acid, and a massive rock of MDMA in my jacket. I had no idea why, no clue how. The air outside was biting cold when I stumbled out to call my driver, and somewhere between the dial tone and the ringing, I decided I didn't want to go home alone, so I called Sean, a girl I'd only met once before. That night, I'd punched her cat and she'd served me lettuce while we were both high on MDMA. We hadn't spoken since, but that night, she answered. Her voice was trembling. Her grandfather had just died. She needed company and I needed a distraction. We ended up at my rundown council bungalow, the kind of place where the wallpaper peels like skin and the lights hum like ghosts. We sat on my broken sofa, shared a bottle, then another, and I made a decision that would ruin the next 3 days of my life. I suggested we take MDMA. Then, in a moment of pure stupidity, I remembered my acid tabs in my pocket. "Let's try them," I said. She looked at me for a long time, then nodded. Neither of us had ever done acid before. Most people start with half a tab. We took 1 full tab each. We waited. Nothing happened. So naturally, being drunk and impatient, I said, "Let's take another," and then another. By the time it hit me, we'd each taken 5 tabs, around 1,000 micrograms of LSD each. At first, it was nothing but laughter. We were scrolling through our phones, looking up ginger albinos, for some reason, just drunk nonsense. Then the room began to change, the lights outside the window. They weren't lights anymore. They shimmered in strange colors, soft yellow glows pulsing like living things. The wallpaper, covered in tiny flowers, started to move, sliding down the wall, then up again, like it was breathing. I blinked hard, but it didn't stop. It got worse. Shan started laughing uncontrollably. "I can see little aliens," she said between giggles. I laughed too, but inside, I was terrified. The sounds around us began to twist. The faint buzz of the heater turned into the sound of a plane nosediving, over and over, crashing into the roof and stopping right before impact. And Shan, she wasn't Shan anymore. Her skin looked like grass, swaying in invisible wind. I could see her veins and bones shifting underneath, moving with the rhythm of her breath. It was beautiful and horrifying all at once. We sat there for hours, frozen in our chairs, unable to move, unable to speak. Then something changed. The laughter stopped. The silence in that room was alive. It felt like the house was listening, watching. Every flicker of the light bulb sent a wave of dread down my spine. Around 5 in the morning, I told her we needed to get up. We hadn't stood in hours. The walls felt like they were closing in, like they were breathing with us. We tried to stand, but the moment I moved, my body felt like it was melting, like my bones were wax under a blow dryer. It took us 10 minutes to reach the bathroom, just a few meters away. When we looked in the mirror, it wasn't us. Our faces looked distorted, stretched, alive, and wrong. For a second, I saw something else staring back, something behind my reflection. That's when I realized the trip wasn't ending. It was taking over. The rest of that night is a blur of echoes, whispers, and shapes that shouldn't exist. Time stopped making sense. The house, the walls, the lights, they weren't real anymore. It was like being stuck between 2 worlds, one made of flesh, the other made of thought. And the worst part, it didn't stop after that night. It went on for 3 days. 3 days of watching reality melt, rebuild, and melt again. Even now, years later, sometimes when the light flickers, I still see that same shimmer, that same soft yellow glow. And I remember the night we thought we were just getting high, but ended up opening a door we were never meant to find.